Hey everyone, Sheila here and welcome back to Life with Pets. Today I'm going to do some updates on several of our tanks and I'm going to start with the 75 gallon. It is doing really well. The fish are doing amazing. We've got into a great feeding routine with them all, and I will do a video on that because I get asked a lot on how we feed the betas and not have them overfeed, because obviously we're feeding a lot of different types of food, and so I will do a video on that probably in a few weeks. We did decide to add some more filtration and we didn't really want another hang on the back filter, so we've gone with a sponge filter. And if you don't know the channel Deb, Tim and a Canadian Girl, at the same time I was researching whether to go with sponge filters over another hang on the back filter, she put out a really good video on sponge filters. And if you're not subscribed to that channel, it is one that I would highly recommend. And I will actually leave a link to it in the description box below if you want to go and take a look at it. But we decided to go with the sponge filter, and whilst I don't like the look of sponge filters, especially when you get into much larger ones in a tank, we should be able to hide it with a plant. We did buy a large Java fern to go in front of it, and once that really grows out, then hopefully it will cover the sponge filter. We have been having some issues with the plants in the tank. Whilst they are growing, the growth seems to be very, very weak. So I've been in touch with Justin from H2O Plants and he's been sort of giving me some suggestions. He was also kind enough to send me some more of his fertilizer and also the root tabs that he now sells. So I have done everything he said. We've added fertilizer and I have added the root tabs into the tank. So it will be interesting to see how they work because, as you all know, I am a big Flourish root tab fan. And so these are his. They're like a little blue capsule and you just put them in to the gravel and then the capsule will actually disintegrate in the tank. So we will see how they work out, but we have put them throughout the tank and I have also put them in one of my other planted tanks, so I'm hoping that they will make a difference. I do think also our lighting might be an issue, so we have ordered a new light to go on the tank, so I'm hoping that that will also make a difference. While we were doing our tank maintenance, we did also go ahead and move some of the plants around. We just felt that some of them were overcrowding others, so we moved them just to give them a little more space. It also made us realise that we really weren't getting the root growth that we're used to in the tank, so I'm hoping that the changes we've made will make a difference. So moving on to the next tank, we also decided to add a sponge filter in the Goldfish tank. We did already have one in that corner, but it was only a really small one and you probably never even really saw it in the videos because it used to hide behind the plant. But we decided that we would add a much larger one because sponge filters are excellent for biological filtration. So once this one becomes cycled, it will really be a good addition to the tank. We did go for really large sponge filters and I will leave the links to them down in the description box below if you want to take a look at them. The goldfish was so funny when we were doing this because goldfish just constantly think everything's about food. So they were just hanging around and every time he put his arm into the tank, they would just come straight over as if, oh, have you got food? Have you got food? Because I do actually hand feed them sometimes. So they are used to fingers or hands being in the tank. So I thought it was really funny that when he put his hand in, they just kept thinking it was all about food. I don't know whether you can see it there, but those little round dots on that leaf are goldfish eggs, and it was little Miss Pip who dropped them, and we think it was probably Ollie that went through and fertilised them because he was the one that was chasing her at the time. The bottom of the tank was littered with eggs as well, but if you're not quick enough, they will go through and eat them up. We did take one leaf out that had 5 eggs on. She did drop the eggs last Thursday, and to our amazement, on Saturday we had 3 little fry. They are still alive and they are growing, so if that continues, then I will do some video on them very soon. The next tank is this 10-gallon, and right now it just has one Nerite snail in it. This was Murphy's tank, and we've decided to move him for the time being into the 20-gallon long. So he's gone in there with his tank mates, and the tank is not fully designed yet, so I'm not going to show it. We're not sure if we're going to keep them in this tank or whether they're going to be in the 10-gallon, but we decided whilst this one was empty that we would just put them into this one and give them all the extra space to get used to each other. I will say Murphy loves the 20-gallon. He is such an active betta fish. He's probably one of the most active we have. And so he is just really enjoying all the extra space. So we will eventually either fully design this one or do a full design on the 10-gallon. Like I say, we're not fully decided yet. So the next tank is our 10-gallon divided tank, and we haven't actually shown this one in quite a while. This one, we have just let it get overrun with the water lettuce, and it is just crazy how well this grows. Haven't got any fertilizer in this tank, any root tabs, just the light, and just look at the size of some of those water lettuce. So this tank is just overtaken with them. The bettas absolutely love it. They just like to hide and rest in the root system that sort of comes down into the tank. So they really like this plant. I do think this is a great plant for betta fish. We did decide to take out all the substrate because we are going to do a big redesign on this tank. So we just added almond leaves in the bottom, which is why the water is like a brown colour. We added the almond leaves in the bottom as like a leaf litter for substrate. And it's funny actually seeing the bottom of the tank because it does look like it gets very dirty, but it's just the leaves breaking down and it sort of creates like a mulm, and that then just sits on the bottom of the tank. It doesn't look very good, but it is actually, or can be, quite healthy for the tank as long as it doesn't get too bad. So this tank is definitely in its more natural state right now, and the bettas do seem to really love it. So we have 2 tank designs on the way. This one will probably be first, and then I will do Murphy's tank once I decide which tank he's going into. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this video update. If you're not subscribed to our channel and want to see more videos like this, then please do so, and we'll see you next time.